All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. And as you've seen, we're talking power bikes today. So let's talk about power bike, super bike or power bike. Okay, as a lot of people actually call it, a fun and exciting to drive and or ride, by the way. Do you drive or would we find out? Would actually okay, because there's some that actually look like cars. So they can also be challenging and risky, but for the riders, nothing compares to the speed and freedom, a super bike can offer. And these motorcycles are bigger, sleeker, and even faster with a speed range of between 150 to 350 kilometers per hour. And we have joining us a super bike rider. We're supposed to have two, but one couldn't make it. But right here in the studio we have Mustafa Maina Aji to to have a conversation with about what it means to be a biker, especially in Nigeria, this morning. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us, Mustafa.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
So I got confused when I saw super bike, power bike. Are they the same thing or is it totally different?
They are of different categories. The super bikes are bikes that are used only on the racetracks. They are the racing bikes.
Okay.
Yes, only for competitions, while the power bikes, it's a general name, for just bikes that can be used for normal road users to either commute, to race within town, to ride for fun, to cruise, to tour, whatever. It's just a general term.
Okay, so do you ride or drive a power bike?
You
also?
ride.
You ride.
Every bike.
Okay, but what about the ones that actually look like cars?
You also ride them because they don't have a steering.
Okay.
Yes. So you don't drive them. You ride.
So tell us, how did you find yourself, riding a bike? Because we all know that it's not really a Nigerian kind of thinking or culture. I mean, even children trying to ride a bicycle, but the parents come hard, will be like, be careful, don't injure yourself and all that. So I don't know. Looking at you, we know that you're your age. I'm trying to, measure the age. And at what stage did you tell yourself okay, I want to do this and I want to start this? And how did that journey, start?
Well, to do with bikes, mostly it comes with a passion. It have to be inbuilt. Usually, only a few percentage of us liked it later on at their later age in life, but mostly we saw ourselves, even as kids, growing up to love it. It's something that I just can't control. You understand? So if you have the opportunity growing up, it's something you can afford. You just feel like, okay, let me just have one. So like for me, I started riding since 2001.
Oh wow!
Yes. Then officially in Abuja, I started riding bikes 2011 in Abuja. Yes.
Okay, so let's talking about riding bikes. It can be exhilarating, right? Let's talk about the Nigerian factor here. Talking about the Nigerian roads, there are lots of potholes, lots of speed bumps. Isn't that risky riding bikes in Nigeria?
Yeah, just like any other road user, there are risks involved. Whatever you're actually using, whether you are a cyclist or a pedestrian, or somebody who rides a keke napep, or even
so the reason why I actually asked that is because riding a bike, you ride faster than all these other vehicles.
Yes, good. There are different capacity of bikes, So even you being either initiated into biking or something that you just chose to do on your own, you tend to find where you place yourself in terms of your capacity. There are, starting from 125cc bikes, that's 125cc, 250cc's, 400cc's, 600cc's, and the speed and the capacity of the engines keeps going higher and higher and higher. If you are not somebody who likes speed, and you need to ride in a controlled environment, you need a lower capacity of bike. You understand? So that you can take care of the bad roads and even other road users or how clustered certain roads are within the country. So talking about speed, to be very, very honest, you know when to open your throttle and you know when to calm your throttle down. That's generally when it comes to even cars, it's just like the same thing, you know. So basically the risks are all the same. That's how we see it.
Says the speed bike rider.
Yeah, to us, we feel very, very normal.
Interesting. Yeah, I will believe him when he said it's them, they feel normal, because I remember an experience where someone said, okay, come and enter, let me spin with you. That's using the car.
Yeah.
I used to be like super scared of it from outside, but he said, no, from the inside, it's a different experience. So I tried it. And it was really different. It just felt like somewhat normal, even though my mom says, please never try that again. So I stopped. But yes, I can relate with you on that one. But you mentioned, race track. So we know that, the Western world already have plans for things like that. So what about you in Nigeria? How do you people, find your way through it? Do you have something like that?
Yes, we do. We do have a racetrack which was locally built in Edo State. Where bikers go there to actually push their limits to see how far they can go and just have that safe ground where they feel safer, a controlled environment, where it's just a racetrack just for bikes and cars, So sometimes 2-3 times in a year, bikers just go there, and yeah, they can just push their limits and have fun. Sometimes competitions may arise, and there are trophies and awards as well to be gotten from there. So we're thinking of doing something also in the FCT, so that we can avoid certain kind of drifts, certain kind of stunts happening in illegal areas or sports within the FCT and maybe other states. It must still be happening. So we're also pleading if the government can actually create that space for us to see how we can also have a controlled environment in Abuja.
Okay, so you talked about drifting and, it just occurred to me about the risks, involved when it comes to riding power bikes and you're speeding. Because whether you're a professional or not, it can be fatal. How do you protect yourselves? Because I know the helmet is not enough to protect you.
Yes, so that's where the gears come in. That's why you have protective gears, and those gears are in different categories and in different levels, and there are technologies involved in those things. That's why even of late you find enhancements like the airbag system.
In what you wear?
In what you wear.
Wow.
There are airbag systems now, whereby as soon as you are off the bike at a certain speed of the bike, automatically the sensor system within you opens up the airbag.
Makes it a lot safer. So have you ever witnessed anyone who was wearing the gear and it protected him or her?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Even myself and many other people. Most bikers have crashed before, and we lost very few, so it's just normal.
Okay, I know of a friend's husband who actually died, from the biking accident and all that. But that was years ago. Maybe it wasn't obtainable then. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, but that's actually a good
They're
one.
very expensive.
Yeah, well, considering that they already want it and they cannot stop themselves from doing it, yes, that safety thing is really interesting. And we hope that, there will be more safety measures, to help this situation. So Husseina mentioned her. And it brought me to the thought of, women. Do you have women in your team? I saw a video. What was happening there first? Let's talk about that video that we just watched. What was happening in that video? Because there was a lot of speed bikes there and then people doing a lot of things. Please explain it.
Yeah, some part of the video actually showed we converging, because almost every year there are events. We converge. We have road raws where you tour over many states, maybe 6, 8, 10, or even 15 states. In Nigeria, you just have a tour within a week or thereabout to tour those states. Then come to a particular location. You have a starting point and you have a destination. So at that destination, that's when you cool off, you park your bikes, there's a hotel, there are entertainments, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So that you just mingle, then from there, everybody parts to their various destinations. So it's just about the ride. Then some part of the video also showed where bikers just come out in the evening, maybe on a Saturday, on a Sunday. If you notice in Abuja here, you hardly hear bikes between Mondays to Fridays.
Yeah.
You know, because we feel the roads are too busy.
So it's not like there's a law against it.
No, there's no law. But we feel safer when there are less road users because we are the fastest on the road. We are always the fastest on the road. So you see bikes now going up to 480 kilometers per hour. Do you understand? So being we've been the fastest on the road, we normally see how we can ride when there are less people on the road. So we choose Saturdays very early in the morning or in the evening, or even Sundays very early in the morning and in the evenings. And obviously Abuja have the roads for us to actually have fun.
Okay.
And enjoy ourselves.
All right. So you talked about, you know, bikers converging and everything. Do you guys have like a club? I know there is a bikers club, but I don't know if it's just the name or if it's actually a club for bikers and all that. Do you have like an organization where you guys meet, you know, have discussions and plan and everything?
Yeah,
Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, there's a national body for biking in Nigeria. You understand? Yeah, which is called the SCAN. You know, and there's also BIN, which is Bikers in Nigeria.
Okay.
You understand? So it's an umbrella that accommodates every biker, you know, irrespective of your affiliation. Usually it is a cluster of those, or fragments of those clubs that are registered and known, because due to some kind of societal notion out there, you know, we need to know ourselves. To keep ourselves on the safe side. We need to know ourselves. We need to make sure, okay, there's no intruder, somebody coming with a bad motive or intention to join us. So we sieve ourselves and we come as clubs or groups, you know, to actually associate, then put ourselves registered properly under this umbrella. So yeah, there are bike clubs and there are bike groups, there are a group of friends like minds. It depends on where you want to position yourself, and there are freebies and also people who are called indies who just feel, okay, fine, I just have the money, I can afford a bike, I know how to ride a bike, I don't want to mingle with much people, I just have like minds, some guys that I know I'm comfortable with, or maybe we share the same ideology and all that, so we just want to come together and ride together and have fun.
But how expensive is this lifestyle?
Well, the lifestyle is
buying a bike, because I know even if
cheap.
to buy a keke, it costs a lot.
Yeah,
just not talk of a power bike.
It's not cheap. To be very honest, it's not cheap, especially when you want to get a very, very good bike. You need to prepare and get something that at least it won't stress you, it won't suffer you. It's not like something that you can just easily go and get any mechanic or someone at the roadside just fix it up for you.
What's the price range?
You understand? So price range now for, let's say, a 600 to 750 cc maybe capacity of bike, you can be talking about between 3.5 million naira to 5 million naira. You understand? That's a range. Then when you're leaving 750 to like 1,000 cc, just talk about 5 million to up to 50 million naira.
So they can even be more expensive than cars.
Yeah, some bikes are more expensive than cars because you see certain bikes going for up to $50,000, $65,000, $85,000 bikes. You understand?
What about the gears?
The gears are also in thousands of dollars.
Wow.
$2,000, $2,500, $3,000, $6,000 kits or gears, yeah. So those are the ranges. So it's not actually a cheap spot because when you're considering safety, you feel nothing is too much, you know, for your safety. So
Of
basically.
course. So we understand that, of course, it's for the rich and it's like a golf, right? So, but you know, there are younger people that we say in this generation that admire you people doing these things, and they would want to like have a way to reach it. And definitely might not have the finance, So how do you people have maybe some sort of like a community or giving back to the society kind of thing that someone can be able to say reach you people to learn without having the finance to keep up with that?
Yeah, first of all, there are people who could actually volunteer and aid sponsoring somebody who has a passion by taking him to the school. We have a school, a bike school here in Abuja, where you could be nurtured, and taught how to ride, observed, and allow you to grow, so that you actually know the do's and don'ts, and you get well. Make sure you know how to ride a bike properly, and you're issued like
A permit?
a permit and a certificate of graduation. So now you're free to be on the road.
I wanted to ask, do you people have license for that, particular speed bike riding?
Like a driver's
From
license?
the government or something?
No. Like a license? No. We're just allowed to ride, but there's no proper documentation to say, okay, this is something to show, as a permit. No.
So on behalf of the Women Association of Nigeria,
Yeah.
how involved are the women in speed bike riding?
Yeah, we have quite a good number of ladies who not just even ride. Some have gone as far as competing in race on the racetrack.
Just for females or both gender?
There are ladies who can also compete with the guys, and there are ladies who just ride within their own category, competing with fellow ladies. And there are ladies who tour. There are ladies who have gone from here to South Africa on a bike. They've traveled for weeks. You understand? On a bike, a lady have done that, And I feel for some of them, marriage have affected them. Most of them, when they get married, I've noticed they don't just continue with those high risks or that adventure, But there are ladies who have done it, and they're still doing it, and they ride almost every weekend.
Okay, so I actually want to ask either what is or what do you consider the age limit for riding a bike, especially in Nigeria, like from beginning to end? When should one start? When can one start, and at what age can one stop?
Well, I think when you can attain, once you can attain a considerable height, and your feet can actually touch the ground, and you can get support. Age of 13, 15, why not?
So short people cannot ride bikes.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
If your legs can touch the ground.
I wouldn't say that. Even the bikes, some of them are adjustable, and some of them are low, and there are also type of bikes for people who maybe are not, let me not use the word, are not that average, maybe due to a certain form of, natural causes. But there are quad bikes, that the bikes who have 4 tires.
Okay.
And there are different kind of bikes. Bikes are of different types, even outside the capacity.
Do they have the same effect as the?
They because of the purpose. There are Taurus. These Taurus are bikes that you ride to cover a very long distance. You don't use a Taurus to just ride within Abuja town.
Okay.
You use a Taurus and say, please, I need to go to Ghana. I need to be in Ghana tomorrow. I have maybe phobia for flight or something. Let me just go on my bike, and I cover such long distance. They have larger tanks. They have more economy. Their sitting positions are more comfortable. They don't stress you. You don't need to lean like a sport bike.
Do they have baggage spaces?
Yeah, they have baggage spaces. That you can actually pick up your things. Food. They have a GPS system. For direction. They have internet and so many other things. You understand? So that's a Taurus for you. And there are sport Taurus for people who like speed, and at the same time they want to feel comfortable to cover long distance as well. There are sport Taurus like that. And there are also high capacity bikes like the Suzuki Hayabusas, the ZX14s, Kawasaki. Those are bikes that are actually built for veterans, people who can take certain kind of pressure and certain kind of speed, irrespective of where they're going to and the distance. Even road affects the kind of bikes you use. There are off-road tires that can be used for these tourists. And there are bikes that, due to the nature of the roads, they also have rainbow tires, you understand, and that can be able to do well and have good traction even on a wet road.
Okay.
And all those kind of things, yes. So basically, that's what it is. And there's also a category of bike for who just don't like speed. They're called cruisers. You just want to cruise like the Harley Davidsons. You just want to cruise.
Yeah,
You just want to feel the breeze. You're just tired of driving a car. You know, just want something different. You just don't want to drive. You've been driving from Monday to Friday. You just want a different feel, something different. You just want that fresh air. You just want to just go have a short distance, take 1 or 2 drinks,
And be
eat,
seen
enjoy
as well.
yourself. You know, you don't even have to kit so heavy. You know, just kit up so light and just enjoy yourself. Just cruise 80 kilometers per hour, 100 kilometers per hour. Maximum, if you push your limit, maybe 120 kilometers per hour. You're good. Enjoy yourself.
Mustafa, I think you mentioned that you were injured in the conversation when we're talking about, you know, the hazard of this business. But then you also mentioned that in bikes, there are bikes that, you know, you get in order to not affect your back or something. Don't you people have issues with no bike? You know, when you mentioned touring around Nigeria, 36 states. What about your back? How do you cope with it?
Yeah, that's when you need bikes that are going to give you that comfort.
Okay, so you get bikes.
Yeah, and
like
there are
that.
stopovers.
Okay.
You know, there are stopovers. You know, every day there are stopovers. You are also allowed to relax, get yourself better, have good rest, have a nap, sleep. You know, it's not really a do or die affair, you know. So that's why it covers sometimes a week, sometimes 10 days and thereabout. Yes.
All right, well, this was definitely an interesting conversation. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, you know, on Daybreak Extra this morning, Mustafa Maina Aji. Thank you. We appreciate your time and also this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we've come to the end of the show. Next week is another day. Yes, same time, same station. I am Dashan Husseina Usman. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
And I am Sumaya Abubakar. Do not forget to stay tuned for Adeni Adjushafe, who will be bringing you the sports news. Stay tuned. Bye for now.